Immortal. Yo. Came out the portal, immortal into a human body. I've been existing way before the earth had Anunnakis. Intergalactical battles, intergalactical travels, infinitely going through stars. The universe will unravel all of its secrets. Peep it, I'm starting to leak it. Time for truth is coming, 100, it's time to seek it. Expanding my perception through the spectrum of light. I'm going in with spectrum and the shit's out of sight. We indigo children, yeah, we building frequencies through the ceiling. Penetrating through reality, a marvelous feeling. Regardless, we're healing these humans that be claiming we demonic. The resonance goes over their heads, we super cosmic. Your logic is ignorance mixed with fear in your thinking. My pineal gland is flooding, son, that shit don't be blinking. Sinking into your subconscious like a song with no words. The way I come up with these symbols of letters is absurd. Hey yo, my rhymes are like angelic beings. The shit is freeing, so pure that if you were born blind, I'll have you seeing. Breathing in a multi-dimensional light so captivating. Double helix is nonsense, so what I'm activating. Feel the power from within, seeping right through my skin. From the earth into my feet as it goes up to my chin. It got me grinning, rotation like spirals, my music spinning. I told you that I don't be playing, still I'm always winning. Fibonacci to the haters, curve them right to the side. They don't understand the energy, it comes from inside. So inside is what I master, used to be a disaster. Now I'm gladly elevating to a whole new chapter. Yeah, I'm giving birth to a whole new style. I incarnated through New York, yeah, I rep Long Island. Don't get it twisted though, I'm truly repping this earth. I came to free all these humans and show you all what you're worth. Immortal. Yeah, raising your frequencies one soul at a time. As I pass this mic to my boy Spectrum, yo Spectrum, light that up, kid.
They tried to tell me I'm mortal, I told them I was immortal. They asked me what makes me different, I asked them what makes you normal. I just followed my morals and I unfollowed the formal. Hopped on a track with crews, now we straight cruising through portals. I download the Metatron, I'm reversing it till I'm dead and gone. If you think I'm dope, then you said it wrong. Not trying to flex, but I'm hella strong. Mine did things you never seen. When I say mine, you know what I mean. I'm the most when I'm in my mode, and y'all average is like the mean. I really didn't mean to go intervene. I'm the middleman chilling in between. You should do the math, we ain't keeping score. But I just hit a 3.14. I cook it up, make it look easy as pie. I'm moving in silence and seeing the sign. I am the G, if you remove me, all you gon' see is your sins. This is a big game of six, the simulation is breaking again. I'm taking control, creating my soul, and if the truth fits, I'm breaking it in. Breaking it. All I really know is that I'll never know. I've been here for forever, don't know when to go. I think that indicates that I'm an indigo. In that case, I'm in the go. Green light, my heart, chakra booming. Solar plexus, Lexus zooming. You assuming that I'm human. I'm just being what you doing. I've been teaching teachers frequently. It's apparent I'm a parent when it comes to raising frequencies. The way I'm living life, I haven't rest in peace recently. Immortal with my technique, but my ego dying easily. Death is teasing me by leaving me with DMT. Now it seems to me that everything I see is seeing me. Life is just an infinite circle with a twist. I used to wanna be like them, now they do not exist.
Immortal.
Welcome, everyone, to Melanin Frequency Visual, the 52 Acts of Unity. We have been transmitting this frequency since the fall equinox of 2019, the year of divine unity. The mission statement is we embody our natural love frequency, living as one in divine unity on earth. We embody our natural love frequency, living as one in divine unity on earth. We embody our natural love frequency, living as one in divine unity on earth. Ashe, Ashe, and Asheo. I am your hostess for this evening. I am Priestess Initiate Ken 141, the Red Spectral Dragon, or Yah. And our mission is to shift the global consciousness of the melanin dominant population and establish an everlasting legacy of divine frequency beings with immortal health and immortal wealth through the application and remembrance of cosmic knowledge. Ashe. All right, and we are currently in the Yellow Warrior Wave spell. We are currently on Can 201, the Red Rhythmic Dragon, which is based on a 260 plasma sacred cycle. And the affirmation for the Kinergy of this plasma reads, I organize in order to nurture, balancing being. I seal the input of birth with the rhythmic tone of equality. I am guided by my own power double. And we say it 3 times to lock it into our hearts, our minds, and our spirits. And so the second time we say, I say we. We organize in order to nurture, balancing being. We seal the input of birth with the rhythmic tone of equality. We are guided by our own power doubled. You organize in order to nurture, balancing being. You seal the input of birth with the rhythmic tone of equality. You are guided by your own power doubled. Ashe, Ashe, and Ashe. Oh. We are getting ready to get into some announcements. So now this is where you grab a pad and a pen and take some notes. You don't want to miss any of the information that's coming. We have some powerful sessions and events that are coming. And so without further ado, I will play the announcements and I will be back. I'll be right back. And again, thank you all for being here and welcome to the space.
Day awake, I am today. God empowering me to breathe. Represents more time to live, move, and have my being. Amazing I am shows the wonders of light shining on my face. Healed from afflictions, distractions, and manipulations of this world. Strong I am today as the sun shines, wind blows and rain falls, reminding me to stand each test time. Wise as I am today to see the truth at face value and walk with confidence, knowing.
Habitats of weeds, daily supplies. 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 It's the way that the love flows.
All right. Give thanks for those phenomenal announcements. And just a reminder for us to keep supporting us. And so a donation goes a long way. If you have a moment, just take a moment and send in a love offering. $5 to $10 goes a long way. You can go to PayPal me, my foundation, or Vimo at #Mimic. All right, here we go. All right, and again, we are currently in the 52 Acts of Unity, which is based on a 200 plasma sacred cycle. And so there is a book or a unity journal that goes along with the 52 Acts of Unity for us to follow along, and so that we are united as we go through these acts of unity. And so make sure you log in and order your unity journal. There are some for the youth and then for the adults. And without further ado, I am going to bring up our visionary leader, our spiritual guide, extraordinary teacher, harmonizing inspirer, committed mother, powerful goddess, and soulful healer, High Priestess Mayat and Marakaru. Amen.
Amen. The high priestess, the mimic who moved me in.
All right, greetings, greetings, greetings. Am I being heard? The music went out for a second. What? Okay. Just indicate in the chat if I'm being heard.
The high priestess, the mimic who moved me in. The high priestess, the mimic who pulled me in. It's time we come together to raise our consciousness. Amen. The high priestess, the mimic who pulled me in. Amen. Amen. The high priestess, the mimic who pulled me in. Amen. It's time we come together to raise our consciousness.
All right, so let's just, have a remix. All right, am I being heard? Am I being heard? Oh man, technology is over here doing its own thing. So if you guys can just indicate in the chat that I'm being heard. I see the green light, so I think I am. Oh, okay. Okay, hopefully there is not a delay on my end. Okay. All right. Well, we just gonna keep it going, keep it going. All right. So give thanks, Sister Ya, for being our hostess here. And definitely excited hearing you on here, being the hostess. Sister Ya, Ken 141, thank you so much. Also, got a shout out Priestess Mumma Nefer Habibullah, right, for being the one sitting in the background doing order. I'm gonna get in trouble for that, right? If I'm just letting y'all know, somebody, put in a good word for me or something. I'm in trouble. She keeps the order, right? And then all of these beautiful slides and everything that she does to make sure that we are presenting ourselves as our mission. So we definitely appreciate her. Also, shout out Star Kim 122, who is our normal hostess here, and she doing her win thing. So definitely we appreciate her as well. All right, so let's get into it. On the last session, we were at the sun. Look, I'm telling you, I don't know what's going on with time, and maybe it's because we following a different cycle. It's just hard to believe that this time last heptad we were in Hampton, Virginia, Buckrow Beach. We was all sitting in the pavilion, getting ready to bring Thought Seeder on, just having a great time at our summer solstice retreat. And so we were coming in live and, just having a ball. So it's just amazing that time went by so quickly. And so on the last session, we had our brother 221 from our nature faction come up and give us a presentation on the artificial mental, emotional, and control mechanisms. It says we are immune to all artificial mental, emotional, and I'm sorry, I can't see it here, and physical control mechanisms, right? And so I love the way that he handled it. He started from source, like how we got here, the program that started the mental processes that are artificial. And he went through, and you know how he does his thing with the words and everything. It was a wonderful, wonderful presentation. A lot of nuggets in that one, a lot of them. A lot of things to think about as we go through thinking about, we so worried about AI, but perhaps AI was created because we had already been artificially programmed. And so we just created some technology to mimic what we were already being. What they say, I'm just doing what you being, or I'm just being what you doing, right? As the song say, right? So definitely a great presentation. And so our mission for this last session, we had an act of unity, right? And our act of unity was to hold a discussion with our unity partners about the pros and cons of AI. And that includes just having a programmed mind, right? And then to list all the things that divinity can do that AI can't, right? And so in our unity group, in the priesthood, we kind of did it on our unity call last plasma. We started talking about some of the things that us in our divine mind, in our natural mind, can do that AI can't do. Right now, AI is good. If you got a whole bunch of things that need to be put together at once and have it sorted and categorized. That's how I use it. Right? Wonderful. I'm like, dang, I gotta do this myself. Shoot. Okay. But the decision, we can change our mind at any time about our experience. That's number one on the list. We can change our mind at any time about the different things that we can and cannot participate in. What is accessible to us in this realm and what is not. We can change our minds. Right? And so I thought that was a pretty dope exercise to go through it. I definitely would like to hear from anyone in your unity groups or as a I don't like saying individual anymore, right? As a solo, right? To come up and talk about this Unity Act or things that you have been experiencing. Again, listen, we are now just about 3 moons away from completing an entire cycle of unity acts. If you have not been meeting in your unity groups, this is pull it back together. Right? We're right here at the finish line. When you're done, you can say, wow, I did an entire year of acts of unity. Even if you had a break, even if there were several, you didn't meet all the time. You were still in the frequency of doing acts of unity, of unifying, being in alignment with that mission, right? If somebody could put the link in the chat, right? If you were, so you can still come together with that. That is a huge mission to undertake, to say that you're going to be dedicated to something for an entire year. And even if you step off, you're going to come right back. You're going to finish this out. Let's finish these acts of unity, these missions and these acts of unities. Let's finish this last part of it. Let's finish this out strong. Right? And see where we are. When we have that convergence, you want to go ahead and put that on your calendar right now, September 18th through the 21st or the 20th. Put it on your calendar. We're going to be in the Georgia mountains again. Go ahead and start planning for that. Because we're going to come together again after having gone through a whole year of being unified. It's going to be incredible. Right? Paradigm shifting, life changing. Right? Go ahead and put that in your heart and mind to be a part of that. Okay. All right. Anybody want to come up and share? I see the links there in the chat. All right. Share anything on this about being immune to all artificial mental, emotional, and physical control mechanisms. Being immune to it. This is part, when we're talking about what's different between us and AI, how we can change our mind. You can change your mind and shift your immunity. That's what I was saying. You don't have to agree with everything that has been placed here as a program, that you can be the victim of anything. If somebody just decides that they're going to be crazy and do something, that they can just run up on you, how about they can't? Right? How about a virus can't run up on you? Bacteria. I know we like to, sometimes wear those badges of, having such a clean and alkaline body that, if I just, smell canola oil, my body just go, no. How about you fortified? Your body is fortified because it's clean. And that stuff don't want to have nothing to do with your body, because it's going to have to change jobs and change gods when it get to you. Viruses, bacteria, anything, even if it's interdimensional, right? We heard Dr. B. Serious. He talks about that a lot when he's talking about these parasites. We had a whole session with him on here. How about being immune to parasites? Once you get rid of them, they don't come back because you're immune. They don't want to have nothing to do with the frequency in your body. You're going to mess them up. You're going to track them all the way back to the dimension they come from, or the machine, or whatever, and start being your divine knights are going to start being parasitical to them. How about that? You can change your mind, put a focus on it, right? Artificial, mental, emotional, and physical control mechanisms, right? And we had 221 really go in and talk about this. All right. I don't see nobody coming back here in the chat. And oh, wait a minute, did somebody pop in?
Yep, sure did. I'll
Oh,
go ahead and share. Don't nobody want to come through with this. Um, AI holds a major role in what's going on in society, right? We as cosmic beings, as immortal beings, they try to tag AI as being controlled by the humans, although they're trying to make AI I would say dumbify the humans. However, what AI couldn't do, for me, this heptad over the course of the heptad was determine my spiritual intelligence or my absolute intelligence, as Baba Tarkarka says. There's nothing artificial about how we shape ourselves and move ourselves through our natural netter abilities to see things through, as long as we're applying our knowledge, as long as we're applying those things that we remember, right? So taking it all to the next level, I was experiencing, ooh, and now I see those. I had some floaters going on in my eyes, and couldn't figure out where they came from, why they came, why they're there. And then now I'm looking straight ahead, and what was there is no longer there as of today. So last Sunday, this uh around this, or no, the dawning of last Sunday, these floaters began. It was like a little spot in the top right corner of my right eye, and it would move every time I move my eyes, and I'm trying to focus, and I'm like, what in the world is this, and rubbing my eyes and everything. And so then I researched it, I asked some questions, because I know Baba T, he just gone through something similar to this. I called him and asked what did he experience before knowing he needed to go to the doctor and have his surgery. And then when he came Sunday, I had some feelings, because normally, me and Baba, we got this thing where we squeeze each other till we breathe life into each other. And it's like a connection to life, wholeness, and everything. And so I think I had some hesitations or something, because I knew that that squeeze had to be more than the norm, right? However, I believed, when the spots came on, I was like, what in the world is this? Where did this come from? Did I just pick this up from him? Blah, blah, blah. And then I just ended up going to the emergency room. I think it was Thursday night. Thursday. I went to the emergency room, stayed there all the way to 4 a.m. the next dawning, right? And ended up getting a clean bill of health, y'all, right? There's no retina detachment in my eye, where all the research, the AI and Google and all them were saying, those are the signs of a retinal detachment. And I was like, whoa. And then the high priestess and I was on the phone. It just dawned on her when I sent her the info that they preliminarily projected was going on with my eye, and the ophthalmologist wanted to do a deeper evaluation on what was going on with my eye, and they saw what I saw when they looked deep in there. They did, but they did not say that it was a detachment. So I'm in the safety zone, and then here today, a whole heptad later, it's almost like it's disappearing. It's going away completely. It's nothing like it was on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, nothing like it was then. And I'm just so grateful that AI can't tell you the truth about you, because our bodies are created to heal themselves. And as long as we know truth, knowledge, and apply that level of intelligence in our own knowing, High Priestess said, what'd you say? That when I hugged Baba, I was in my empathic mode, empathic mode, and I likely pulled in, his 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 matters at that moment in time, and I didn't release them, right? So learning and knowing the truth of who I have been since I was really a little girl, laying hands on people and helping people feel better about themselves, in almost any and every way. I'm like, man, this stuff is real, what we're doing here. And to evolve in that, to walk in that, to be about that is nothing that AI can state or can take or can define or tell you how to do what you naturally do. So I'm gonna go ahead and yield the mic on that. Give thanks for this opportunity. Peace and love. Maybe you can take that to a whole nother spot, High Priestess.
All right, Ashe. Give thanks for that reflection. And yeah, that's an example of becoming immune once you are aware that it is artificial, right? I don't know if it's exactly pulling, I don't want to say pulling something from someone else, but accepting that, knowing that frequency, it's like this is a, as they say, a thoughts of things, right? And that shows who we are. When a thought can literally become a thing, that is showing you your the power of you as a being, that you can literally knowing everything that occurred and being able to pull that into the body and having the same experience. They call that what's that, psychosomatic, right? And so then also be putting on your immunity to it, being immune, right? To that's an artificial thing. It's just a thought that caused something physical. And so if we can do that, right? I'd be getting excited about stuff like that, right? Because if you can do that, and you can do it in any direction that you want it to be, it don't have to be something that causes, harm. It could be for something that is needed, something that is necessary, something that helps to heal humanity, helps to shift the consciousness. This is how you test your abilities, right? So I say, all right, let's go. All right, so this next frequency wave that we're on, melanin frequency wave number 40, that says we will breathe by any means necessary. And we got that from our very own Baba Wanique, Kimi Tahuti Shabazz. And we're going to hear a little bit more about how he came into that, and then go into that in detail. As you know, with these frequency waves, what we started to do was attach them to the faction in the priesthood. As you know, we have 13 factions in the priesthood, those who this frequency would represent the most, right? The which of the factions would focus on these frequencies. And so we had three of those factions, right? So we had the research and science faction. I'm the prime of that. And then we have Ken 43, Ken 43, Nikita, Ken 141, Sister Ya, who you heard earlier, and then also Ken 122, that is our very own Star. We also have the Nature faction, and that is headed up by Priestess Muhammad Nefer Habibullah, and who we heard from on the last session, that's 221, and then also our frequency and interdimensional faction, right? Headed up by Priestess Kali Heteru, Priestess Kali Anut Heteru Podai Kimi, and also with Sister Nikita. We have Moon Goddess Ambrosia and Star Kim 122. So this is something that would be a combination thing. So sometimes we come together and we focus on one frequency. And so we're going to have the Nature faction deal with this one. And that will be featuring Priestess Mutma Nefer Habibullah. She's going to come back up and break down this frequency, talk about something. I know I'm just going to sit back because I know she got some surprises up in here, right? I will sit back and enjoy the show. It definitely has been my honor and my pleasure. I love y'all. I'm going to see y'all on the next one. Hotel.
Got some surprises. Yes. Give thanks, High Priestess. Thank you so much for that AI experience. Thank you, Ken 221, for that AI experience. Give thanks to you, Goddess, Priestess, Initiate, Ken 141, Yah, for hosting for us, setting that tone like you do for us. And most definitely to Ken 122, Star, Priestess Initiate Star, who is the usual person we hear the voice of hosting our Melanin Frequency Vigil. I'm so honored and happy to be able to be here with you all. And as you heard who I am, and you've heard of me before, but if you're new to this space, I am Priestess Mut Mayat Nefer Habibullah of the Mimic Priesthood. I am Ken 178, the White Solar Mirror. My affirmation is I pulse in order to reflect. Realizing order, I seal the matrix of endlessness with the solar tone of intention, and I am guided by the power of timelessness. And again, it's definitely my honor to be here to represent our Melanin Frequency Wave Vigil and the act of unity. So our frequency wave that we're on is number 40. And if you don't mind, read what our wave statement is for today. And we definitely give thanks to Baba Wanique, Kimi Tahuti Shabazz for waking us up to this, okay? Because it takes things to another level when we really go back in history and think of where this stems from. So let's say this together. We will breathe by any means necessary. Ashe, ashe, asheo. So what we have going on, I just want y'all to think on this. Some of you may already be in tune to really, truly what this means, but just picture to breathe is more than biology, okay? Breathing is actually a life force. It's evidence of our freedom. It also can be looked upon as ancestral connections, continuity, however you want to word that, environmental relationships, and then also our spiritual authority. Yes, yes, yes. So tonight, when we say we will breathe by any means necessary, we're not only talking about our lungs that we're breathing through and out of, we're talking about our right to live, the right to be protected, the right to research what keeps us and sustains us, and also the right to stand in unity against anything that's going to threaten the breath of our people, of our families, our communities, and the earth. Okay, we got to be one with the earth, right? So we got to make sure we're doing our part to make that happen. So y'all do this with me. Y'all know I like to do the breath work and all that good stuff, but just go ahead and take a slow inhale with me. And then all together, let's just let it out. So in the chat, I want y'all to, at this time, answer this. What is the first thing that comes to your mind when you hear those words, we will breathe, with the question mark behind it? We will breathe? We will breathe? Is there a question? We will breathe? What's the first thing that comes to your mind? Y'all go ahead, share with me. Up, no words, ain't no doubt. Come on now, preach it out. I like that. Give thanks, ain't no doubt. We just gonna do it, like Nike. Just do it. So breathing is love. Ashe, ashe. Breathing is the one action that we do from our birth all the way till we transition, right? It's an automatic thing, but it's also a spiritual thing. Yeah. In many traditions or ancestral rituals and pathways and so on and so forth, breath is connected to spirit, to wind, to voice, definitely to life, prayer, or meditation, like what we just did, and presence. And when someone is anxious, all right, when you get anxious, when you're grieving, when you're oppressed, when you're feeling unsafe, your breath begins to change, right? And then also when someone feels protected, they're calm, they feel loved, they feel they're grounded, and they feel free. Our breath actually begins to deepen and be elongated and relaxed, controlled in some ways. I love to tell people to breathe on purpose. And I was so grateful to be able to step in and do this presentation, because that's one of the things I've had to learn to live to do, is to breathe on purpose. But where in your life have you had to fight to breathe? Okay, emotionally, spiritually, physically, and or even mentally, just to get your thoughts clear. You just had to breathe, just to stop your body from hurting. You just had to take that deep breath and put that focus on whatever that area was in your body, and then it stopped hurting. Spiritually, somebody getting on your last nerve, or somebody literally touching nerves. Emotionally, you're hurting, and you just have to figure out how you're going to catch that breath, right? So people often say, I can't breathe. Y'all done heard it. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. You're under stress. I can't breathe. I can't cry. I can't breathe. I'm having an asthma episode. I'm one of them people. I used to be one of those people. Panic episodes, trauma, car accidents, a slip and fall. And you just had to catch your breath just to deal with the pain. And when you're carrying also heavy freaking responsibilities. So this actually shows us that our breath is not separate from our life experiences. Our breath actually helps us to respond to the environments that we are in, to the relationships that we are in, to our safety environment, to our safety factors, to our health, and to justice, all in itself. Y'all see some on TV, those of you who care to watch the news and see all the stuff that's going on out there. And you'd be sitting back and you just be like, I don't believe this. Why? And we got to do something, or something must be done. And then all of a sudden your heart start racing, right? You start getting all riled up and all that good stuff. So here in our mission 40, it's actually calling for us to also have a collaborative exploration when we get to the when we get to our what I'm trying to say, um the acts of unity. When we get to those acts of unity, we're going to actually start bringing these things into fruition, okay, into action. How about that? So here, as a collaborative exploration, this means that we do not just speak spiritually, we also study, okay, the physical systems that help us to sustain our breath. And how do our lungs work, right? What happens when the air enters our body? We all know, the trees give us, and plants in the house and all of that, help us to breathe. But what role do you know that not just the trees, but the ocean? If you know this, go ahead and put it in the chat. The planktons, all right, in the water that we're drinking, the atmosphere in and of itself. And what role do they all play along with the climate? What does it play in how we breathe, in the air that we breathe? The lungs are not isolated from none of it at all. The body breathes because the earth breathes. Okay? Get out there and just dig your feet in the earth, put your hands in the earth, sit on the earth, sleep on the earth. Okay? Go camping if you have to. Our lungs depend on healthy air. The trees, I think that's one of the reasons why I want to live in the mountains, because they high up there where pollution really does not evolve at its most. The oceans, the soil, our weather systems, and our ecological balance. All that. What you say? The ocean releases most of our oxygen. Hey, Ashe. Okay, you all up in this act. You all up in this. So NASA, y'all, I did do some research. NASA notes that scientists estimate at least 50% of our atmospheric oxygen has been produced by phytoplanktons. 50% by phytoplanktons. And what is this? Woodhull Oceanographic Institution also explains that more than half of the planet's oxygen comes from ocean. This is what you talking about, y'all. Ocean photosynthesis in sunlit surface waters. All right, 50% sunlit surface waters. Now, when I read that part, I was like, I don't know about the swimming pool so much, because they put all other kinds of chemicals up in there. I don't know if I want that. But then again, we think about our natural waters, people throwing toxic wastes and so on and so forth that trickle down into it. If it ain't coming from a natural well water spring, I don't know what I want to do about it. Yes, getting in the salt water is one thing, because the salt in itself, is beneficial. But when the sun is hitting that salt water, right? Whoo, Ashe. So think about this, y'all. Breathing. Do you think only about your body when you're breathing, or do you also think about the ocean, like this y'all put in there, the trees, our atmosphere, and the earth systems? If those are the only things you think about when you think about breathing, you're cutting yourself short. I'm telling you that right now. So now, name one thing if you don't mind. I know we got ocean in there already that you know about breathing. Then one thing that you're going to research a little bit deeper this week. Go ahead and start forming your thoughts, brainstorming on some things that you're going to start researching on the full aspect of what breathing is about. Go ahead. Go ahead. If you don't mind, you can share it in the chat or you can think on it a little bit longer. That's quite all right. That's quite all right. But you said, man, I love the ocean. You don't like swimming in other water, but the ocean, okay, okay. What creates the consciousness in the atmosphere? Ooh. Ooh. Oh, I want to hear that next up, Tad. You're gonna have to make sure you bring that one forward. Ah, Shay. I like that. The trees act as filters and scrubs the junk out. Hey, Ashay, Ashay. I like that. I like that. All right, let's move to the next slide. So, breath in a collective. It's a collective. That it is true. It is a collective. The ocean, the forest, our plants, our atmosphere, our unseen unity partners. Hey, we talking about the acts of unity. So we know those are our unity partners. So when we think about the Amazon is often y'all not Amazon that you go shopping at. Not that Amazon. Online Amazon, AI Amazon, right? The Amazon that is the living, they say planetary, but I say planetarium regulator because the forest actually is that main source for absorbing all the carbon and recycle the moisture that like it's been put, I believe it's been shared as most in the chat, to influence the rainfall and hold our diversities together, our biodiversities. Like y'all heard me say in the beginning, breathing is more than just biology, right? Biodiversities. The Amazon, where we find forests, where we find trees, where we find they're high to the clouds so the clouds can meet them and they get the moisture and then they bring down the rains and bring out filter out all the impurities and the toxins in the air, and then booyah, we taking it all, that breath, to the next level. I also found that the NOAA has reported that deforestation and warming or global warming have caused portions of the Amazon to shift from a carbon sink toward a carbon source in studied regions, showing how damaged ecosystems affect planetary balance. So I'm going to pause right here because I have a video. Priestess Initiate Nikita shared with myself a few weeks back, and not sure if any of you have ever heard of the Great Separation, but it speaks a lot to what deforestation and warming and all of that is bringing about upon our earth and all. And just while you're watching it, think about this question: what does it mean spiritually and practically if humanity damages the very system that helps us breathe? I just want you to think on this part right here. How would you breathe? How would you live? And how would you continue as you are watching this video?
I told y'all this would happen. Yo, y'all feel this? Hell yeah! Hell yeah! We ain't burning.
Yo, did y'all see that?
Bro, we really got power.
Everybody away from the windows. Nobody goes outside. Jesus, please help us. Please stop this. As the Son of God, please stop this. That is the Son of God. Look. It's too hot.
Everybody turning red. The caves, move! Something's wrong with nature.
Unnaturally shelter. Seek immediate shelter.
Move! Now!
This is worse than they predicted.
The solar radiation is interacting differently with varying melanin levels.
How bad is it?
If exposure levels continue rising, the majority of the population without sufficient melanin adaptation may not survive prolonged exposure.
Then that means the people with melanin are gonna...
Activate.
We can't let this happen. If this spreads globally, we have to contain this now!
Did the president make it to the bunker yet? Yes, sir. He's secure underground. But we need to make another call. These melanized people are starting to activate. It's only a matter of time before they realize who they are or start searching for these bunkers.
They're evolving too
There is one other option. Bring out Siakar. We're out of time.
The radiation levels are still rising.
My daughter's still up there.
If the awakenings continue spreading, we may stroll early.
They built this place for the end of the world.
All right now. Y'all come on with it in the chat. Cause y'all know what's going on. Y'all hear this stuff. We got wildfires, we got wildfire smoke, we got industrial pollution. People, y'all saw them, they said, I can't breathe, and then they collapse and die. I can't see. I'm I'm turning red, but who's the one? Come on now. What are we doing here? Who are the ones that are able to absorb the truth, the knowledge from the sun with all the ashe, in their abilities, in their wholeness, and they're breathing through it all. But yet we know, okay? So you got heat waves, we got deforestation, we got poor indoor qualities that we need to consider that are not the far out level kind of distant issues, that we have to deal with on a day-to-day basis. Now, mind you, I'm not saying the low quality air won't affect, but we still have the mind, the inner wholeness, the inner power, the ashe in us to navigate, to decalcify, to detoxify, to exhale. As we are breathing, we know when we release, we are releasing toxins. When we inhale, we're taking in the pure carbon dioxide. So hopefully you got a lot of plants around you, or you spend time outside in the garden, in the grass. But those toxins enter our homes, they enter our schools, they enter our workplaces, And then they, of course, they're getting in our lungs. People coming up all the time with lung disease or lung cancer and all that kind of stuff, right? But in all things, they're going to be in the spaces, but how will they affect us? All of it still makes our air quality a space for us to form a level of protection for our community. That is part of our responsibilities, Ashe, in all that we are and that we are doing. So I can't breathe. We hear that. We heard it. But Baba Wanique came and said, I will breathe. Ashe. But it carries us back into the weight of, because of the public, we move into a different point of view on the we will breathe by all means necessary at this moment in time, okay? The public experiences of police violence, racial injustice, and global witness of people crying out for the right to live. The breath becoming a symbol of body under pressure, all right? The community under pressure. The people demanding to be seen as what we are, fully human, period. Period. How about that? So here in Mission 40, it becomes more than just a research that we're doing. It becomes a protection measure. We got two parts to this mission of the acts of unity that we're going to be speaking through and speaking of, that's going to be asking us to establish a frequency of protection against injustice and to transmit unity that makes harm obsolete. All right, so y'all think on that. When a community hears the word I can't breathe, what is the responsibility that comes to mind that the community actually needs to have? What? If somebody says to you, I can't breathe, what's your first response? Are you going to be the EMT on the scene in that moment, in that time? Many communities have, or areas or regions or whatever you want to call them, experience racial profiling. Y'all know it. Environmental injustice, over policing, neighborhoods too, medical dismissals. You go into the hospital or to the doctor's office and they totally disregard there's a matter to be addressed. Housing inequalities because of what? Either the color of your skin, the zip code you live in, okay, or the income that you bring in. Workplace discrimination. Ooh, Lord. They know how to get over too. The school discipline disparities. When I heard children going to school with their locks, children going to school with their hairs braided, and they get sent home because they try to claim they're not properly dressed or their appearance does not fall in alignment with school regulations. These are all forms of restricted breath. Why? Because it's cutting our voice. It's cutting our breath. It's cutting us from being able to speak our truths, live our truths. And they limit our peace. They limit safety. They limit opportunity. And sometimes they limit dignity. But that's not what we here in Mimic are about. Heck no. No, 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 no. Because we're here together right here now, shifting the freaking global consciousness of the melanin dominant population. I know good and well, going through these 52 acts of unity, ain't now one of us gonna have an issue with that. Moving forward, not one of us. All right, y'all touching, agreeing with me? Yes, we do need our own schools. Ashe? Ashe? So, breathing is not an actual equal, how I want to say this. It's not equal when air quality is not equal. Okay? Unequal breathing. If the air quality is not equal, then breathing is not equal. The American Lung Society, some more research I did, reports that people of color are disproportionately likely to live in communities with failing grades more for multiple air pollution measures. Their key findings, okay, this American Lung Society states that a person of color is more than twice as likely as a white person to live in a county with failing grades for all three pollution measures. That's what they say. But what are we saying? We will breathe. Y'all say this with me. By any means necessary. A current public health meaning. That's it. That's the definition. To make all of what they say obsolete. It asks us to look at how factories are being conducted, highways are being made, waste sites are being kept, wildfire smoke is being handled, housing placement is being managed, asthma rates, whether they're going up, going down. Mine went down, mine went away. I haven't had to use my emergency inhaler or my maintenance inhalers in more than 4 years. School air quality, I worked in the school district for 17 years. Dealt with asbestos, dealt with mold and mildew. I'm supposedly allergic to every one of them. And I had those symptoms. I dealt with shortness of breath. I lived with that. And then we also have where we have to deal with access to healthcare just to get seen, just to be properly those of us who deal with, doctors and all that stuff. I told y'all earlier how I went to the hospital. Now, I ain't scared of no doctor, but I'm going to do my own thing first. I'm going to treat myself and I'm going to examine myself. And then I'm going to ask those who I know are like-minded, whether they've experienced it or if they got some insight and so on and so forth. And if it all boils down to it and I just say I want to another thought from the scientific aspect of it all, I do that. I ain't scared of no doctors. Not one damn bit. But they ain't finna be sticking me with no needles. They ain't finna be drugging me up. No, 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 no. So what forms of polluted air have you seen or experienced in either your house, your neighborhood, your workplace? Go ahead if you want to share that in the chat. The city that you live in. You got a lot of factories around you. Maybe even in your family. In your family, you may have some unequal breathing matters going on around you. I got a 12-year-old grandson. He come in from outdoors. I said, I can't breathe. I need you to go take a shower, boy. Get in there and clean your body with some water. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So sometimes, there's some smells that can stump your breathing, but you just have to know what's what, when, how, why, right? So check your local air qualities, identify inside your homes, change the filters. I think it's every 2-3 months or something like that. Discuss any asthma or breathing challenges that your ancestors may have had. You might need to have this knowledge for yourself later on in life. And then learn more about your environment and the justice efforts that actually exist right now. There could be some groups out there right now fighting for air quality, and we don't even know about it. So y'all might want to take all that into take an initiative on that. So
Mission 40 is so powerful because it's not calling us to revisit our suffering, even though it's good to remember, right? It's not telling us to remember our suffering just to remain wounded. No. It's calling us to evolve beyond all harm. Protection means setting an intention, period. Creating unity, period. Redirecting harmful energy, period. Refusing cycles of violence, period. And building a field where injustice cannot keep reproducing itself. 100 all the way. Protection is not like a lot of us, some people are scared to stand up for their rights. Okay? So don't look at it as a form of paranoia. Look at it as a way to prepare. Protection is clean boundaries, setting those boundaries, getting clear information about what's going on within and around you. Community accountability, spiritual covering. Like when they cut the trees down at my the playground in my neighborhood, and I got emotional about it. I really did. Because when I was able to walk my neighborhood, I used to talk to each one of them trees, greet them, shake their hand or whatever, call them out by name, because yes, I did name them. And then somebody came around and cut them down. Every one of them in that row, because they formed the shape of a moon, a crescent moon. Protection is a form of spiritual covering, emotional maturity, and collective responses. One, all the way. All the way. That's what protection is. It's not a paranoia. It's nothing to be afraid of. It's nothing to hold back from or to sit down and wait for somebody else to make it happen. No, we have our own responsibilities to it. So how can we protect ourselves without becoming consumed by fear, anger, and or retaliation? Yeah. Protection can look like knowing what your rights are, having emergency contacts, checking with our elders. Yes. Learning, those of you who know how to reach the ancestors, you can do that too. Learning breath work, supporting clean air policies, documenting injustices, healing our traumas. High Priestess takes us through that all the time. Creating community safety teams, practicing spiritual grounding before the conflict actually arises. Okay? Another research thing I did was Unity Nations General Assembly, the UNGA, recognized the right to a clean, healthy, and sustainable environment is a human right ever since what? Y'all, it is 2022. Just came up. It just came up. 2022. What's that? 40 years ago? That support this is supposed to support the idea that breath is not just personal, it is political, it is environmental, and it is collective. I breathe, you breathe, we breathe together, we breathe the same air in the same space. How are we protected with each breath? Somebody got germs, somebody got whatever them other viruses and diseases and stuff, and then they breathe in and you ingesting that. But there's nothing around us to purify our air because they done cut down all the freaking trees, the real trees, the true trees, the evergreen trees, the trees that help us breathe. They done put fake grass down everywhere, false grass that changes colors based on the seasons. So this mission is asking each and every one of us, unity partners, unity circles, whatever it is that you're doing, do some research, discuss, protect, and transmit it. Don't just hold it all to yourself. Share. Next heptad, y'all should be sharing your discoveries. This means the action is not only about us talking about breathing, doing breath work and everything, but it becomes where we become a guardian of breath, all in and of itself. All right. So complete this sentence. I protect the breath of my community by what? I protect the breath of my community by, share with me, put it in the chat. Being, Ashe. Come on through, y'all. I protect the breath of my community by, oh, I like that. You can smell it for miles. Ashe. Okay, what's this? You said, I protect the breath of my community by gardening and planting trees. Ashe, ashe. I protect the breath of my community by shifting the consciousness. Booyah. Ashe, ashe. Okay, so then what is one action that we can take this week to protect air, protect life, and protect each other? What is that going to look like for each and every one of us? Just go ahead, share those thoughts if you don't mind. This is taking us to the next level on what it means to Ashe. We breathe with our lungs, true, but we also breathe through our choices. We breathe through clean air, safe homes, protected children, respected elders, healed traumas, truthful history, and unified actions. To say we will breathe by any means necessary is to declare that life is sacred. Come on, snap your fingers. Air is sacred. The body is sacred. Come on, y'all. And the earth is sacred. And all our collective protection that we put into place is sacred. Oh, so we're going to take 3 deep breaths right now. 1 deep breath, inhale for the body. Our second deep breath for our ancestors and our community. And our third breath for the earth and our future generations. Now say the statement you see on the screen with me. Ashe, we will breathe, protect, research, unite, and rise or evolve by any means necessary. Ashe, ashe, and ashe. So now I'm going to take y'all to seeing what our acts of unities are actually saying, because we have a part 1 and a part 2. I had to put them on a separate slide. When you get with your unity partners, as was shared throughout this whole presentation, I hope y'all got plentiful out of it. Okay. It was definitely my joy, my honor, but listen, with your unity partners, do this research on air, period. the Amazon. Do some research on the lungs. I shared it with y'all during the presentation. Dedicate time to literally find ways that we can protect, that we can get justice, have our justice, you know, come to us, where our air qualities, no matter where we are, no matter where we are, you can even do it for somebody else in another area, right? But engage in those meaningful discussions about air, all right? And all the interconnected systems that we have to evolve through and evolve in. All right. Then on part 2, you're taking it to the next level when it comes to injustice matters factors. Okay. Get with your unity partners and literally dive deep from within, from your heart, to transmit a frequency of unity that renders injustice based on our race, our culture, our similar factors, and make them obsolete. Just put the hammer on the head of the nail and say, yo, ashe. Our ashe, like High Priestess has shared, I think it was in Aligning with the Cycles. There's an ashe session she did talking about power, unless that was, I don't know if that was here or that was there. But ashe being our power. I remember watching a documentary on the true meaning of the word ashe. It is our power, but it can't come if you got doubt. It can't come, that power can't show up if you coming with a question, but you set that intention and you ashe that intention and you make that intention happen. The Bible says, write the vision and make it plain, right? Your ashe says it is done. Yeah, do you have ashe? That's what it was. That's aligning with the evolving cycles of time, time, knowledge, and empowerment session. Ashe. So when you say that word, a lot of people say ashe haphazardly, like it's just feels good or sounds good. Now, baby, what comes before it and what comes after it had a lot to do with what happens to it. Period. So I give thanks. That is the end of my presentation. I look forward to the shares coming through in a plethora next plasma. I'm going to go ahead and yield the mic, turn it back over to our host, Priestess Initiate, Ken 141. Yeah, I yield the mic, sis.
So much gratitude. Oh my God, I'm over here hyped. Did she drop it? She dropped it. And so as we breathe deep, what's going on with the slides? We will breathe by any means necessary. We will breathe by any means necessary. We will breathe by any means necessary. Ashe, ashe, and asheo. And so we are going to move along to making sure you all stay with us for the chants. And so just remember, the one thing that I take away from the session was when she said our breath is not separate from our life experiences. Ashe, that one was like, oh my God, I was over here like, oh, I'm all hype. It was a very, very, very profound session. She did a marvelous job. And so I want to give a personal thank you for everyone being in the space, sharing your love, your energy, your vibration, words from the session. And I need you to stay with us for our sigil and focus chant. This is our opportunity to collectively breathe the transmission of Vigil Act number 40. We are one, and through our unified focus, we will amplify our intentions. We will energize the symbol, sigil, and strengthen our unity. We are aligned, mind, heart, purpose, and presence. We live in harmony with purpose and power. We will fulfill this mission as one. Ashe, ashe, and asheo. Peace and love, family. Oh, one more time. I got to run it back. Hold on. We are in the year of divine unity, and we have been transmitting the 52 acts of the Melanin Frequency Visual since the fall equinox of 2019. We embody our natural love frequency, living as one in divine unity on earth. We embody our natural love frequency, living as one in divine unity on earth. We embody our natural love frequency, living as one in divine unity on earth. We will breathe by any means necessary. Ken, 86, Wanik, Kimi, Tahuti, Shabazz, Ashe, Ashe, and Ashe. Oh.
We are one with the cosmos. One. We are one with the galaxy. One. We are one with the earth. One. We are one with the wind. One. We are one with the fire. One. We are one with the water. One. We are one. We are one. We are one with the cosmos. One. With the galaxy. We are one with the universe. We are one. We are one. We are one with the sky. We are one with the birds. We are one with the trees. We are one. We are one. We are one with the wind. We are one with the earth. We are one with the fire. We are one. We are one. We are one with the water. We are one with the soil. We are one. We are one. We are one with the elements. With the stone. We are one. We are one. With the earth. We are one. Immortal. We are one. We are one.
We are spreading the word about an energy vigil dedicated to the betterment of melanin-dominant people worldwide. It is called Melanin Emerging Collective Consciousness Alignment. As you know, there are groups across the world that pray and meditate for global peace and love. Though this has benefited the world, it is obvious that more is needed to dissolve the systematic and individual oppression of melanin-dominant people worldwide. Our collective is transmitting frequencies right now. Each week, a different melanin-dominant group is accountable for generating and holding the frequency. We began transmitting on Fall Equinox 2019. To find out more or get involved in this movement, check out our website at www.melaninfrequency.org.